Much for. Did you have to buy my record to come to this show? Yeah. Thank you very much. How are you getting on with it? Good. It's very different. It is very different, and it's a tough record, and it's a tough record to listen to for myself as well, and tough record to make. Got a python back there. It was a tough record to make, and but I wanted to make something that was as real as possible, and didn't want to stick any veneers on it, because I think now more than ever it's important for songwriters like me to just try and tell the truth as much as possible about how we feel, because God, the world is such an insane place to be living in, and it's hard not to feel overwhelmed, and I do feel overwhelmed, like everyone, like most people. If you don't feel overwhelmed, I want to take what you're taking, because it's so much information, there's so much pressure, and God, the pandemic and everything. So I try to write as honestly as possible, and if I've done anything with my career that I can stick in a phrase, I think it is that I've always tried to be as honest as possible, and not, I don't know, that's just what I've always tried to do, and but I do, I suffered quite a lot before the pandemic and during the pandemic with this horrendous anxiety, and it got to a point where it was becoming like I couldn't work or anything, and I used to think, well, for a while I thought it was self-indulgent for me to stand on stage talking about that, because people go through so much worse problems than that, like I'm sure that there's so many people in this room that have suffered so much worse than I have, but still I thought, well, I've realised that actually talking about it is better, because just in case those of you in this room that do feel like you're suffering, it helps so much to talk, so much more than keeping it silent like I did, like a lot of blokes, like a lot of men, like a lot of people. I just tried to carry on and not tell anyone, and it just makes things worse. And so I don't know how I've got to this preachy statement, but yeah. So anyway, I wrote this album about it. It's called Monsters, and you've already got a copy, so I don't need to send it to you anymore. If you want to buy another one, it's always welcome. But this is the song that started the whole album. And it's called Monster, from the album Monsters, and I wrote this about trying to overcome these panic attacks I was getting, and I guess, yeah, that's what it's about. I woke up in the night, I found an empty cage. How you got out, I don't know, I guess you clawed away. You waited there in the shadows, you made me feel afraid. I would've run before, no, not today. Breathe, close my eyes and count to 3. You're only there, family, and you're just a monster, and I'm not scared. you really must. Don't you realize that you and I, we bleed the same blood? You got so much power and it makes you feel tough. Can you see that all you need is just to be loved? Please close my eyes and count to 3. You're only there family. You're just a monster, just a monster, and I'm not scared. You're just a monster, just a monster. You're just a monster, and I'm not scared. You're only in my mind. You're only in my mind. Gonna say it one more time. You're only in my mind. You're only in my mind. Tomorrow I'll be fine. You're only in my mind. Tomorrow I'll be fine. You're just a monster, just a monster. You're just a monster, and I'm not scared. You're just a monster, just a monster, just a monster, and I'm not scared. Yeah.